Welcome back, everyone. So today I'm going to be doing a product review of the Arcteryx Konseal FL2 leather shoe. That's this shoe right here. I'm really happy to be doing this review. I've had this shoe for about 6 months. And if you remember, about 5 years ago, I did a product review of a very similar Arcteryx shoe, which was the Konseal AR. I had a lot of people really interested in that review because it was a great shoe. And as a matter of fact, I have that shoe right here with me now. This shoe is over 5 years old, and you can tell it looks a little bit beat up, and there's good reason for that. I've taken the AR shoe, around the world with me. This shoe has probably gone to at least a dozen countries. It's been through hell. It's been up mountains, it's been in swamps, in marshes, all over hard concrete. You name it, this shoe has been there, I would say. Like, just an amazing experience with this shoe. Every year I expect this shoe to break down on me, for something to fall apart, but nothing like that has happened. It looks beat up. It is beat up. Some of the vibram is worn down. You can see that a little bit. But overall, like, I could still wear this shoe for another year, I'm sure. The only reason actually that I bought another shoe, which is the FL2, Konseal FL2, is that, well, there's two reasons. One is this shoe started to squeak, and not a big deal if I'm outside, but when I would come inside, I would hear this little squeak, which eventually kind of started to disturb me. And so I thought, okay, that's weird. But the bigger thing that really drove me to buy not only a new shoe, but a slightly different model, which is the FL, was that I travel a lot, and some of the places I go to are really hot. And even where I am here in the Pacific Northwest, in the summertime, it's over 30 degrees Celsius, and this shoe can get pretty warm. It's very robust. It's a beautiful feel when your foot is in this shoe. The leather and the construction is amazing. I love the reinforcement. It's this kind of sturdy yet comfortable feeling when your foot is in this shoe. So I think that that's really awesome. However, that comes with a price, and that is it generates some heat. So when I'm walking outside, in particular, I remember when I was in Paris, France, and I was wearing this shoe, it was in July, and my feet were just boiling. So at that point, I think that's when I made the decision, okay, I need to look at other options here. But I love this shoe so much. I mean, I've been with this shoe for 5 years. It's amazing. Typically, a shoe for me doesn't last a year, really. Like, if I get a year out of a shoe, then I think I'm doing pretty good. This is 5 years. So when we're talking about rating these shoes, and we're talking about things like durability, well, this shoe blows the doors off of any other shoe that I've ever experienced. Even some of my hiking boots would break down after a few years of use. This has been my daily driver for 5 years. And so before COVID, yes, COVID did impact my ability to use this shoe and go out and participate outside, but I was still hiking and walking and stuff like that with this shoe in all weather conditions, and it's held up amazing. Quick disclaimer here, I'm not sponsored by Arcteryx. I don't communicate with Arcteryx. They haven't given me any money to review their stuff, and I'm actually not an Arcteryx fanboy. So you'll see in some of my reviews, I'm actually quite critical of some of their products. I would say I'm about 50-50 with Arcteryx gear as far as my experience with it. And it's not because it's bad gear, it's just it wasn't personally what I was looking for. So when I'm looking for an item, I have certain requirements. If those requirements are not met, then I don't like the product, right? So somebody else might, and I'll tell you who that might be and why I don't like it or why I like it. So there's that. I think I should get that out of the way. I'm not sponsored to say this. So I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly on all of these products. However, with their Konseal brand of shoes, it's really hard for me to give you anything bad about these. Warm in the summertime is about as bad as I can get for this shoe. Durability, amazing. Price, okay, sure. It's a little bit higher. I think for me, I pay Canadian dollars. It's going to be about 250 Canadian dollars for this shoe. It lasted me 5 years. Divide by 5, right? Like for me, if you buy a regular shoe, maybe you get a year, maybe 2, 5, and it looks like this still. And I've just taken it everywhere. So there's that, right? So when you're looking at price, there's more than just the price. There's how long is this going to last? The construction of these shoes is pretty amazing. So that's the AR. I had to get something that was a little bit cooler, and that's what I did. So let's talk about the FL2. The FL2, as soon as I pick it up, right, I can tell that this is a lighter shoe. So this is 360 grams as opposed to the 440 grams of the AR. So that is a pretty significant difference, and you can definitely tell from the construction on this shoe. There's the reduction in the rubber around the toe box. I really like that on the AR, although this is pretty good as well. They've really put it where you need it here and no more, kind of minimalistic that way. Also the leather, it seems a little bit thinner, and they've perforated the leather. So that was the main thing that I was looking at in order to keep my foot cooler. So they perforated that, there's some holes there. And also, I don't know if you can see it, I'll put it closer so maybe you can, but they've also put some holes in the sole area here for airflow, which I think is good. I definitely do feel a little cooler when my foot is in here. It doesn't heat up as much as the AR shoe does. So I think for me, it's done what I need. It's a lighter shoe. I haven't felt any negatives around it being too light or too flexible or anything like that. It's got the same feel as the AR does, right? So it still feels low to the ground. You can feel what's going on. This is not a running shoe. So if you're looking to run in this, don't, because it will not be fun, right? I've ran in these across the airport and stuff like that, trying to catch my flight, and it'll do that. Like, it's fully functional. It'll do what you need to do. But if you're going to go run a marathon or even a 5K or whatever it is, there's a better shoe for you. This is not a running shoe, right? Of course, in an emergency, it'll get that done. It is a very comfortable shoe. It's an approach shoe, right? So this is made for going to the mountain. Great for hikes, great for those sort of things. It's been my daily driver, well, the AR has, right? For everything. And whether that's going for a hike or going through the airport, right? It's been great for all those things. And it really felt as though it molded to my foot over time. And I think that's partly because of the construction of the shoe, and I hope that this does the same thing. It seems to have that same feel, so I think it will. With the suede and the lacing system, it seems to just comfortably wrap and hug your foot, which is the most amazing feeling in a shoe, right? That's really what you're looking for. And then that combined with the heel drop, I think it's about 10 millimeters. Don't quote me on that, check their website. But you don't have a big thick cushion at the back here. It feels relatively flat. You can feel the road, you can feel what's going on underneath your feet, which is what I like. However, there is cushioning there. So if you compress, if you jump up and come down on rocks or something like that, there is cushioning there. There is a lot of support. So it's not like there's nothing there. It's not like you're running on some sort of socks or something like that. Like this is very robust. It's going to give you what you need. So the FL definitely is lighter. The construction definitely is lighter. It's definitely less hot. My foot is going to be cooler in the summertime and hot tropical conditions, which is great. I was worried, however, that this would not be as robust, that it would be too flexible, that especially in the heel area here, I was worried about that, because if you look, the construction here is quite different. Like, I'll show you from that angle here, but then also at the back you can notice the construction is quite different as well. So on the AR, there's that kind of a plastic coating that goes around it, which keeps that heel very solid, very sturdy, I guess, right? But with the FL, you'll see here, like, I can squeeze it a little bit easier. It is a little softer. And I was worried about that. When I ordered these shoes, that was one of the things I was looking at. And I didn't really like the look of it. And just the thickness of this cushion here, I also was worried about that. Because that looks like a typical running shoe, and that's not really what I was looking for. I was looking for a lighter version of the AR. However, I was pleasantly surprised when I received these and tried them on and wore them around for the first time. As soon as I put my foot in here, it had that same AR feel, the same Konseal AR feel, but it was just lighter. And I didn't even notice the heel pocket here at all. I didn't notice any difference. And it was just great. I felt that same kind of hug from the shoe, which is what I was looking for. I felt that same sort of sturdy reinforcement, which is what I was looking for. It just felt a little bit lighter, which is great. And so far the temperatures have been working out really well for me as well. Same socks, same setup. It's very hot out. I've been wearing it around, and that's been great. The bottom is basically identical, a little bit different pattern, right? The AR's got circles, this has got stars. I mean, this is the AR from 5 years ago, so maybe they've changed that a little bit, I don't know. But it's very similar feel. For me, that's been great. Who uses this shoe? I think any sort of outdoor enthusiast would use this shoe. If you don't want to wear your hiking boots, maybe you don't have a heavy pack on and you're going to go play in the outdoors, I think you could use this shoe. For me, I use it for everything. Like I said, I go through airports with this, I go through the forest with this, I climb up mountains with this, I do tons of stuff in this. I drive my truck in this. Like, it's been great. Any sort of situation where I think that I don't want to wear my flip-flops and I don't have to wear my dress shoes, I wear these, right? So if I'm out fishing on the boat, I wear these. If I'm out running on the beach, I wear these. Hiking in the forest, I wear these. So I think actually the other time I don't wear these is if I'm going for a run, which I don't do a lot of anymore. I do CrossFit, which actually is another time when I don't wear these. Actually, I wear proper CrossFit training shoes for that occasion. But so those are some times when I wouldn't wear my daily driver. But however, other than that, I guess my point is, long-winded way of saying it, is I wear these a lot for many different situations, and so could you. Not a running shoe, so if you want to go play sports, if you want to do things like that, this is probably not your shoe. This is really just an outdoor recreation shoe, an approach shoe that you might use if you're going to go climb a mountain or do something like that. So the lacing system on this compared to the AR, slightly different. Again, that was something I was looking at, concerned that that might be a problem. If we compare the two, you can kind of see the difference there. I really like the AR style of it, although it did take me a little bit of time to tie up because I used to use one of those locking knots. I don't use that on this one, and I find that the lacing system seems to work quite well on the FL2. So I've had this for about 6 months so far, and you can tell it still looks pretty new. Nowhere near like the beaten up AR that I've got. I mean, this is 5 years of abuse right there. It's held up pretty well. I expect it to hold up reasonably well in comparison to the AR, but of course it's not the AR. It's not as robust. Will I get 5 years out of this guy? Hard to say. I doubt it, but we'll see. So far, so good. Should you buy this shoe? I would say yes. This shoe retails for about 200 Canadian. The AR is about 250 Canadian where I live. I would say $250 for 5 years, pretty good deal, because you're not going to get a shoe a lot cheaper for that. Maybe you're going to pay 200, maybe 150, maybe even 100. But how long is that shoe going to last, right? It's not going to last 5 years, that's for sure. So this guy here, 200 bucks, I think that's a pretty good deal. Expensive, yes, but it's going to last. So if you want a shoe that's going to last you more than a year or two, I think this is something to really consider. So to wrap it up, I like this shoe. Do I like it as much as the AR? I'm not sure. We'll see. Time will tell. The AR is my go-to shoe. I mean, it's been through hell and back with me. Just an amazing shoe. I never expected that, but it's exceeded all expectations. Will this do the same? We'll see. I think it stands a pretty good chance because when I wear it, it feels like the AR. It's a lighter version, so it may not last 5 years, but I'm guessing it's going to do pretty good. I recommend this shoe. At least check it out. If you live in a climate that's not as hot as mine is right now, or you never go to the tropics, or you're probably not going to wear this when you go there, then the AR may actually be a good choice for you. If you live in a climate that's not too hot, this is an amazing shoe. So you really can't go wrong with either one. I just really think it depends on your conditions, your body size and structure and things like that. If you're a lightweight person and you want a lighter shoe, I think this could be a good option as well. All right, that's it. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you have this shoe or if you have the AR and you want to compare it and tell me what you think, or if you're thinking about buying one and you have some questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. So with that, thanks a lot. Happy trails.